click, get ready for your Kodak moment.
Oh, my.
Welcome to One on One,
a Bluff City Media podcast.
Tune in as we go one-on-one with players, coaches, and influencers from around the city of Memphis and across the nation. Now,
Let's get to the show.
welcome back to a new Bluff City Media audio podcast called One on One. I'm excited, man, because the first guy that we had to have on, we had to have Q. Y'all know Quindell Johnson, man. He's the OG on the team, been here for so many years, man. I feel like he's just part of the city, man. But this was a kind of an interesting day for you this last weekend, man. Your last home game in Memphis, man. How are you feeling?
Hey, just that, man. I had a lot of mixed emotions, man. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Just, knowing that it was gonna be, my last time actually playing, in the Liberty Bowl or whatnot. It was amazing, just the way the outcome was. I had pick, forced fumble, just flying around the ball. But that whole day was amazing, man. Just taking it all in with the guys that I came in with, guys that been, like Zay, he was here before me, but just taking it all in with them guys, man. It was amazing, and it's gonna be bittersweet for sure. Bittersweet moment. Gonna be bittersweet playing here, but I enjoyed that day.
So, Quindell, I want to take it all the way back to the beginning because I remember talking to you before you came to Memphis. Like, you had just committed to Memphis out of Edna Carr, and you weren't the highest rated recruit. I'm looking right now, number 1,711 in the class. Low. But came in, obviously balled out. You've been one of the best defensive backs, really one of the best defensive players in the conference over the last 3 or 4 years. What has that journey been like for you?
And that journey, it been special. It been a special moment because, people always see the glory, but they don't know what, the grind that you put into, to get in a position that you in. I just think this is a testament of, what I do as a person, how I take my grind serious, on and off the field, just how I carry myself, man. Just trying to be consistent with my game, just, try to develop my game even more every year. And it shows, man, just, I'm out there being consistent as I am, man. That's kind of part of my game, just trying to, be consistent. But the journey is everybody got their journey, but, mine, I feel like mine's a little different. Wasn't really high rated coming out of high school. So I had to work my way up the spectrum, but I knew what I had. I knew who I was as a player. I just needed a chance and opportunity to show who I was. And, once I got my opportunity to play, then it went skyrocket from there, and I just took advantage of every opportunity.
Well, what was that like? Like, what was that? Everybody has that moment, I think, in their career where they realize, like, this is the person I want to be. This is the player I want to be. This is what I need to do to make this happen. Do you kind of have one of those memories that you experienced when you were first here at Memphis where you were like, listen, man, I know this is what the narrative is about me, that I'm not one of the most highly rated, guys coming into the class, but I want to be this guy. And this is that moment that I realized this is what I need to do to make it happen.
It's great that you asked that. Just me coming in, like I ain't really never think of it like that. Like my freshman year, like I kind of knew I wasn't gonna play. Just by how, like, my size and everything. I was just a freshman, and guys were way bigger than me. So once we went to like fall camp and everything, you know how that go. They want the guys that they want to play. So sometimes you gotta have take that step back and realize that this might not be your year, but the next year, like going into my sophomore year, springtime and everything, like the winter time, working out, and then once spring ball came around. Once spring ball came around, we had new defense coordinator and everything like that. So once that happened, that's when I knew, I have another opportunity to showcase who I am, like showcase my talent to these coaches so that I can play like they see who I am. And that's when like I realized that, yeah, I can do this. Once, I started getting a rotation and everything, I knew I have a chance. Like I knew once they gave me the opportunity, I just took advantage of it. And that's really what kind of set my career after that.
So what was that transition like? Because you talked about, being that young, hungry, up and coming player coming from, being a lower ranked guy, and then you're working your way into the rotation, and then obviously you become a star player, and then somewhere along that journey, you become a leader of the defense and a leader of the team and a captain of the team. So walk us through that transition of what it's like to come from a young player that's just hungry to get in the lineup to someone who has way more responsibility than that. Like you're the quarterback of the defense back there at safety. You're lining guys up. You're a leader in the locker room. What's the journey like to get there?
Man, it was a hell of a journey because, my senior year of high school, I was also, captain. I was one of the captains of the team. We had like 5 captains. So I was choosing one of the other captains on the team. So just having that role my senior year kind of got me out my shell just a little bit because I really never was, the vocal captain. I was the captain, like the lead by example. Like I want to set good examples. I wasn't that type of leader like scream at you or whatnot, get on you. My senior year of high school, I was just the one, I talk to you. I'm always positive, but when I did talk, everybody was gonna listen to what I had to say. And then transition to college is different. Like you don't know everything. So I wasn't gonna come in here and try to lead right away because I'm new here. I don't know what's going on. I'm not finna get cursed out by nobody, telling me I don't know what's going on. I'm new to everything. So I just had to step back and listen and observe what the standard was here at Memphis, like what we do, how we do it. So going in that transition, like my redshirt junior year is kind of when I had that role just a little bit more because of my 2019 year. Just a little bit, like I wasn't vocal. I was just, I was just one of the guys on the team, that did have a say so in something if it, would it need to be said. But I was still young as well, so I'm just, I don't say everything, but when I said I have something to say. So these last 2 years, as my role got bigger, especially this year, I was ready for it. I was already in this position already. It was just a matter of time that, I get back in the position that I am in. So just coming my senior year going into, the wintertime and everything, my role, obviously got bigger than ever. Like I had to be vocal, make sure guys were on the right page and everything. So that journey itself is one of those journeys that you have to cherish. I feel like I've been born a leader my whole life. It was just a matter of time that I get back in a situation to where I do need to lead guys and and lead them the right way. And I felt like I've done that. Especially this year with my role being bigger than ever. I felt like I did that for the most part. Just trying to get guys on board, get them to understand, just being the older guy on the team, just trying to get them to realize things that you don't got to do this, you don't got to do that, but you can do this and do that. So I feel like that journey itself, I cherish the most.
Well, part of your journey is, coming from New Orleans. And I think it's interesting because if you look at the cities like Memphis and you look at cities like New Orleans, in a lot of ways, they're kind of similar, right? Like when you live in New Orleans and you grow up in New Orleans, there's a certain level of pride of just feeling comfortable in the city that you're from.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same way
Right.
in Memphis, right? Like you grow up in this city, you grow up spending time, running these streets, like there's a level of comfortability. You had some help as you got here to Memphis, kind of making that transition in your twin brother, right? Like he came here with you, ultimately was on the team with you for a couple of years and he decided to leave. You've had plenty of opportunities throughout this time to to make a decision to move away from Memphis or to go somewhere else, to make a decision. Obviously that moment was probably one of them where you had to make a decision, man. This is my best friend, my twin brother, the guy that I've been closest to my entire life. Like, what was it about your time here at Memphis that made staying here easier for you?
Man, just, him obviously was that reason, but just the connections and the relationship that I had here as well. I didn't want to leave. Like, it didn't make no sense for me to leave. And also just the situation I put myself in, I didn't have no reason to leave as well. But, just having my brother by my side since, he was here, it made it all worthwhile, just that college experience and to experience it with him. It was fun as well. But for really, like, just for the most part, like, I just felt like I put myself in a situation to where I didn't need to leave. And I'm just loyal. Like, I wanted to do this. Like, I won a championship here with a great group of guys. So I just wanted, to do it one more time and lead the guys, the right way and get to it. But, obviously it didn't go our way. But just for me to stay here, man, I just feel like I'm loyal to this university, to this team, man, and I owe them everything, that I put in.
So before we start talking about this year a little bit, I do want to ask about some of the guys that were leaders for you, because you've talked about taking guys under your wing, leading by example, speaking up when you need to speak up. Who were some of the guys that did that for you, that took you under their wing or gave you good advice or pointed you in the right directions? Who are some of the guys you can credit that to?
JJ Russell, Jacoby Francis, Patrick Taylor, even though he's on the other side. PT was a great friend of mine. Just guys like that, man. Like, since we got here, they were cool. Like, they took me and my brother under their wing. So just guys like that, Oh, and TJ Carter as well. Like, that's my guys. Like, just those guys, they took us under our wing. They welcomed us here with open arms. And, ever since then, ever since they was here, they just been guiding us, just telling us things that we might need to know. And I think it worked for me for sure.
So at the beginning of the year, during the offseason, me and you talked a couple of times, and we talked about one of the reasons why you came back was to, you had experienced in 2019 kind of the mountaintop in terms of conference championship and, going and playing a New Year's Six bowl. You came back specifically because you wanted to leave the team in a situation where, they were experiencing the same thing, like kind of bringing the team back to that height. Obviously, things didn't work out this year the way that y'all thought that it would. But let me ask you this: like, how did you train? Like, your leadership as y'all went through this year, as starting off 4-1 and going through that slump, those 4 games. What kind of message were you sharing with the team throughout this time when easily the team could have let go of the rope? That was one thing that was clear to me, is that you guys, especially the senior leadership, were not willing to let that happen. Like, what was some of the messages that you gave to the team as you guys were battling through that rough part of the season together?
And it was just really just remembering them times that we put in, like the wintertime, the summertime, like, remember them times, like, we worked too hard, to get to where we want to be. So it was just get them to remember how hard we worked. We was losing games, but I just wanted them to remember how hard we worked, just how long we worked to get to this situation that we was in. So it was just like a reminder, to remember who we are. Like, we gritted, we grind. So we just need to get back into that mindset. Like, we got to get back to that dog mentality mindset. And I feel like we have done that for these last couple of games, but just throughout that slump, we just had to stay positive as a unit, just stay together, just be our brother's keeper and just keep grinding because we knew it wasn't gonna last forever. But we were just facing adversity at the moment, so we just really wanted to stay together and stay positive and just keep trusting the process that we've been put into and just keep grinding because we know who we are, we know what we're capable of doing, so we just gotta continue to display it.
So, Quindell, your last regular season game as a Tiger is coming up against SMU. When you look back, and I know you haven't necessarily gotten to that reflection stage yet because you still got the SMU game, potentially a bowl game. But when you think about your career as a whole, what are some of the highlights? What are some of the immediate moments that pop up, both like personally for you as an individual and then for just team success also?
For me, really, just like how I grew my years here. Like, you come to college, this is where you continue to find yourself as a man. And I think, I did that my time here. Like I grew as a person. I met a lot of people here. I made a lot of connections here, my time here. So I feel like that's one of the things that I took advantage of, is just kind of connecting with people and taking advantage of those connection opportunities also. So that personally, and obviously, like my first interception here, I got my first block kick, winning the championship. I got my one hander. I have a lot of moments with me. So I mean, that's really probably my top four right now.
What are you expecting, man? It's going to be a big game. Two teams that have played against each other so many times over the years. It's a big rivalry. Those two teams have kind of played each other in some extremely memorable games over the last 4 years. You excited about going up against in your final regular season game against a receiver like Rashee Rice?
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't really want my last game to be against nobody that's below us, man. I'd rather, have a challenging game like this. Ain't no better way to go out with a challenge like this. So I think we're gonna be prepared. We're gonna be ready to go up there and beat a good SMU team. So this is the last time. Regular season game with the guys. So why not go out with a bang?
Before we end it, because I think we're about to wrap up here, I do have one last question because I've always thought about this. Like ever since you started on the team, it's like if the defense needs a big play, Quindell is going to make that play. Like immediately, what comes to mind is Mississippi State. Like you balled out against Mississippi State, really helped win that game. I don't know if Memphis wins that game if you don't make those plays at the end of the game. I also remember a Navy game. I think it might be 3 years ago at this point. Is that the low scoring Navy game where you got a pick? I think you had 2 picks in that game. You know what I'm talking about? On the road in Annapolis. I think it was like Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah. Talking about COVID year?
Yeah, I think it was COVID year. COVID year.
I had one pick though, but I did I made a lot of plays that game though. Made a lot of plays.
Yeah, I think that was like a 7-3 game or something like that. Super low scoring game.
It was 7-10.
7-10. So those are some of the things that pop up, and I know there's a ton more. You talked about the one-handed pick, the block kick. What is it like being the guy that everybody relies on to go make a play? Like, do you love that pressure on your shoulders? Like when it's crunch time, like we know Quindell's got us, like he's gonna go win this game for us.
Yeah, I mean, when the play comes to you, I'm type of guy. As I got older, I realized you can't rush this game. Like you can't rush going to make plays. You can make plays, but when plays come to you, that's the ones you have to make because all of them not gonna come your way. So when it's time for me to make a play, I gotta take advantage of those opportunities. And I think when it's crunch time, ain't no better way of trying to make a play. You need a play, so if that play do come to you. You got to make it, and if ands or buts about it, you have to make that play. So, pressure make diamonds. So, I like that challenge. That if we need a play, I have to make one.
Listen, man, as somebody who's only been covering the team for as long as you've been here, it has been a pleasure to see you going from where you came from, as a freshman to now where you are as a senior. It's just it's really exciting, and it's really it's a proud moment to be able to see you out there playing the way that you have been, and just being the leader that you are, man. And I know Memphis fans are sometimes you don't really recognize what you have until it's gone. And so I really am excited to be able to, share this interview with them and be able to, so they can hear from you and just, how you've grown, what you have experienced here, and just what a valuable asset you were to the city and to this football team. You have any final words you want to say to Memphis Tiger fans before we get out of here?
Oh man, I appreciate everybody that supported us as a team. I appreciate the support. I'm always a Tiger. Once a Tiger, always a Tiger. So I appreciate everybody, and go Tigers, go.
Thank you for listening to One on One. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a like and a comment wherever you download your podcasts. Head over to www.bluffcitynil.com, where you will find comprehensive coverage of Tiger athletics and how you can become a contributor. We will see you back here next time.